Our current system isn't working. Specifically, our system for setting goals and staying motivated enough to not only see them to completion, but consistently break through new levels of achievement and fulfillment. Over the course of the last half-decade, I've immersed myself in answering a few basic questions and have gone down the rabbit hole to explore these answers. These questions are simple, yet incredibly complex at the same time. They include: why do some people achieve massive success in everything they do, while others can't get out of their own way? What separates those who get excited and inspired for a season, a quarter, a month, or a week, and those who are consistently on fire? What are the core principles, mindsets, habits, and rituals of those who execute ruthlessly and those who sit on the sidelines pondering? This led me on a personal quest of self-discovery and growth as I traveled the world to learn from the best. It led me to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars in seminars, programs, courses, and mentors. It led me to launching my own content platform, podcast, and coaching and consulting business, and to writing my first book and leading my own intensive experiences. Nothing was off limits. Instead of pursuing the answers to these questions in one context, I attacked them from all angles. Sometimes it'd be in the realm of physical health and pushing my body to its limits. Another time it would be a deep spiritual retreat or a transformational experience. Many would be in the context of entrepreneurship and the principles of wealth production. My thirst for this knowledge was unquenchable. During this time, I started to uncover the answers to the questions I'd asked for so long. I also started to connect the dots between seemingly unrelated contexts. It all finally started to make sense. Most importantly, I started to experience this shift in my own life, letting go of the old patterns of thinking and doing I'd created in order to step into new realities and experiences. This led me to a powerful realization: nothing separates you and me from those whom we admire and look up to at the top of the mountain. We're one and the same. The only difference is the way they define and perceive success, their level of clarity around goal setting, and their associated behaviors and habits. I also realized there were crucial yet common myths we had to let go of in order to step into a place of powerful execution. Once we were able to adopt these new patterns, we too would become unstoppable. These insights and realizations, discovered through a decade-long journey of both research and experiential training, led to the creation of the book you're reading now.
My first book, Unresolution, was about dropping the mindset of waiting to achieve our goals, specifically the New Year's myth. This new book is about a lifelong mindset that allows for incredible achievement and a deep-rooted fulfillment pertaining to the basic human desire of wanting to be better today than yesterday. The 1% rule was born from watching so many great people with amazing intentions never move the needle long enough to produce results. Ultimately, they would give up on their dreams, go back to their corporate offices, retreat on their health goals, disengage in their relationships, and cease all momentum. Their dreams would become a distant memory as time passed. They'd stay stuck for years on end, feeling worse as each birthday passed until they ultimately gave up and decided they were destined to stay the same. If this sounds familiar, don't fret. No matter how out of touch you feel, there's now a better way for you. The principles in this book are proven and tested on thousands of people from all life experiences and with varying desires, but with one core theme: they want to close the gap between where they are today and where they envision they're able to go. If you want to do the same, this is your manifesto. If you're here, I'll assume this is not your first rodeo reading books like this, and I'm humbled. My mission is to give you a new perspective, release the immense pressure you've put on yourself, and give you a system you can use for the next year or decade, or for the rest of your life. Your time is now, because there is no such thing as perfect timing. If you're reading this, it's for a reason, and we have no time to waste.
You've been lied to. Sports Center, Instagram, Hollywood award shows, even those unbelievable wedding photos captured with just the right lighting. It's the seemingly candid social media image created only after 31 takes and painstaking edits. It's your favorite actor or actress strolling down the red carpet. All of these examples represent a simple, yet precarious reality. We're obsessed with the highlight reel of life. Whether it's the fourth quarter comeback with less than 2 minutes left that seals the championship, the end result of an Academy Award-nominated movie, or simply achieving a financial goal, there is a deep-rooted myth that runs rampant in our culture and society. Success comes in a moment and can happen overnight. Furthermore, success looks and feels like what the movies show us: the glitz, the music, the awakening moment where you step into a completely different world. Whether in pop culture, entrepreneurship, or the constant cycle of social media posts, we believe this myth, and it's crushing our self-worth every single day. It's time to break this myth down once and for all. Once you do, you'll be able to navigate it in a way that serves your goals and outcomes. It'll also set you up for realistic expectations and the right amount of intensity and long-term consistency, so you can achieve your wildest dreams. However, there's also an alternative: to stay where you are, stuck, frustrated, and waiting, hoping, and praying something changes. No? Thanks. We begin our journey by examining the core myths we've been led to believe about success and achievement, why they're obstacles, and how the 1% rule obliterates them once and for all. Imagine you and I decide we're going on a road trip from Arizona to Venice, California, to meet friends for some exploring and hanging out on the beach. And I'm driving. The gas tank is full, the sun is shining, and you better believe we have a rocking playlist to sing our lungs out to. We're headed out on a journey and we're expecting to get there in 6 hours. It's a straight shot, but there's always traffic as we get closer to California. Anything within an hour on either side would seem realistic and possible for this trip. We're pumped, and we're already making plans for what's going to happen once we get there. Our minds has decided this is the narrative we're going to step into, and we couldn't be more excited. However, reality has a different take. You didn't sleep well last night, and when I pick you up, the energy is low. We get started on the trip, you're fumbling around, and we realize you forgot your wallet. We backtrack 25 miles, and you can cut the tension in the car with the butter knife. We finally set off, and the first 100 miles are smooth, but then we hit a massive accident. We've barely gotten started and the traffic is bumper to bumper. Worse, I was supposed to change a tire my mechanic warned me about a few weeks back, and now it feels off. There's a ringing noise vibrating through the entire car. Fast forward for hours, and we're sitting in a mechanic shop in Centennial, Arizona. We look at each other on the verge of exhaustion. This isn't what we expected, and we consider turning around and calling it quits. This simple story highlights the issue we're all facing in a highlight reel culture. Our expectations are sky high, and we're prone to giving up at the first sign of struggle or obstacles. When we're setting out to launch our new business, it's much like the road trip. We're going wild. Did someone say kitchen air guitar session? At no longer having a boss and having complete freedom, we're inspired to create a brand, product, or service, and hit the ground running because it's ours. We're consuming content telling us we have to simply dream and believe, and we'll achieve anything we want. We're on fire. We expect to replace our corporate income in 4 months or less, to the tune of $6,500 per month for our new business. We've got some expectations, and we're excited to make them real. 8 months go by, and we're deep diving into our savings account. We haven't even made $6,500 during that entire period. Our zest and appetite for freedom is replaced by the angst of paying bills and saying no to weekend trips with their best friends. Gone are the days of knowing we'll be paid next Friday and being able to splurge on that new outfit. And we wonder if this is even for us anymore. One of our friends notices our palpable stress and tells us it's time to go back to the real world. We decide they're right and throw in the towel. We justify our sky-high expectations by blaming others for our lack of results.
We can all relate to the prior example because we've been there. We experienced the same reality when we bought a new fitness program expecting to create a strong, lean body, or when we wanted to feel enlightened after a week of meditation practice. We've all given up when our results didn't match our expectations. The repercussions of giving up and giving in can be massive and life-altering. Over the course of studying thousands of people who have achieved in ways most people consider out of this world, I noticed a common tendency crucial to the ethos of the 1% rule. This came up time and time again, almost to the point where it seemed to be a prerequisite to success and achievement. The first iteration of your goals is never the end result. The magic is in the pivot. We all believe that growth, success, and achievement in life are linear inputs, equal outputs, right? Wrong. Our entire life experience tells us otherwise. Life is not linear. It's messy, unpredictable, and chaotic. When we're in the middle of this mess, everything is cloudy and we question what the hell we're doing. Yet a few weeks or months or maybe even a year down the line, we wake up and realize everything was perfect exactly as it happened. This is why our mechanisms around success are flawed. They don't allow for the fluidity of the pivot essential for finding a more fulfilling path. When I researched the most successful, impactful, and disrupting companies and people, I noticed all of them had experienced a life-altering pivot outside of their expectation. In the context of business, YouTube started as a video dating site, discovered people were not looking for dates but wanted to share content, and pivoted. Instagram started as a digital check-in app, discovered people were taking pictures of where they checked in, and pivoted. Flickr started as an online role-playing game app, discovered people were loving the photo-sharing feature, and pivoted. These are massive companies, yet their billions of market share could easily not exist had they expected to get it right the first time. Their expectations were not like the flawless, sun-soaked road trip you and I went on before, but much more flexible to the realities of business and life. Here's why this matters for you. Without starting and jumping into the cold water, you'll never clearly see the pivot and the opportunity in front of you, no matter what area of life you're in. Using the 1% rule, you'll be able to strategically set expectations designed to serve you and create the awareness of the pivots leading to your ultimate success.
One ever wakes up and declares, I want to feel stuck. I want to feel overweight. I want to feel disconnected. I want to feel sluggish. I want to feel stressed about money. Nonetheless, when we look around, we see the stark reminders of our current reality. It's not fun. It's a reminder of what we haven't done, how time is passing us by, and how far away we are from where we want to be. However, instead of starting today, we wait. We sit on the sidelines, watching life passes by, while the clock continues to tick in the background. Our obsession with the highlight reel gives us another debilitating illusion. There's a perfect time to get started, and it's not right now. The feeling of being stuck and spiraling out of control are a direct reflection of this mentality. Since we are already sold on the idea of a highlight reel moment where you and I walk out on stage following a cloud of smoke and the perfect song plays on cue, well, then we have to wait for the perfect time. We've all experienced this. Millions of people wait for the calendar year to switch one digit, and then they'll get started. I wrote about this in my first book, on resolution. This keeps us from moving forward in every area of our lives, killing both our momentum and achievement in one fell swoop. The 1% rule obliterates this myth of perfect timing and instead creates the perfect timing. Since perfect timing is an illusion, then today is the only time, hence it's perfect. See what I did there? Hope so, but it goes much deeper than a play on words. Using the 1% rule, you will become the creator of your life. The creator understands the myth of waiting around for the perfect time and knows waiting around for more money, less stress, and an abundance of free time isn't reality. Instead, they recognize it is up to them to choose it. Not tomorrow, not in January, not at the next weekend seminar, but today.
There's a crucial moment in any endeavor where we're faced with adversity and have a decision to make. Whether we're looking to catapult our career, write a book, or phase out of the honeymoon period of a new relationship, we've all experienced it. At that moment, we have a choice. The path of least resistance is quite simple. Recognize the adversity as feedback that we can't accomplish what we want and fold. Or we can take the path few are willing to take, recognizing the adversity and ultimately using it as a catalyst for the next step. Although a simple distinction on paper, these two ways of handling adversity represent a stark difference. You either achieve greatness or you don't. Seth Godin, a brilliant author and blogger, wrote about this in his book The Dip. Godin, 2007. He says it's not a matter of if the resistance will come, it's when. The dip, as he conceives it, is what stands between starting out and hitting the peak of the mountain. It represents most of the time we spend in any project or endeavor, full of countless challenges. Those who persist break through to the other side. Godin defines the dip as the long slog between starting and mastery. In a world where most see adversity as failure, enduring and breaking through to the other side is rare and therefore valuable. This means adversity is not only part of the equation, but a gift and a test designed to see how committed you are to your goals. Most people operate under the illusion that success will be easy, regardless of past experiences, and feel disappointed and move on at the first sign telling them otherwise. However, the 1% rule operates in a completely different context. We will experience challenges, adversity, and chaos at least once every single day. Operating under this ethos allows us to not be surprised, but rather to get excited when it comes. We recognize this, knowing our competition will fold when faced with a similar circumstance, as would have our prior selves. This is precisely why the excitement that comes from setting grand visions at personal development seminars is fleeting, because we come back to real life. We're short on sleep, our boss yelled at us, and the new puppy can't control his basic functions. Using adversity as another tool in your 1% rule toolkit, you'll become a master of personal certainty in a world of chaos. Even during your most challenging days, you'll systematically move your life forward with an inner knowing that nothing can faze you, and it's only a matter of time. Life and work become a beautiful experience when you arrive at this place, and it's available to you now.